You are not crazy. I want to repeat, you are not crazy. The financial well-being of America is being held hostage by politicians playing political games with your life in the name of ideological purity. Now, the issue is quite clear. Any person with half a brain knows that mailing struggling Americans a check for $600 while simultaneously shipping millions of dollars overseas to place a down payment on the security of other nations is disgraceful. And yet, if you listen to the politicians, you would be convinced that we are the crazy ones for daring to point out what should be obvious to anyone. Now, the latest round of COVID relief will be about $900 billion, added to the $4 trillion we've already spent on COVID aid alone, but it's more than the cost of the war in Afghanistan and Iraq combined. Americans spent nearly $2.4 trillion over 18 years in Afghanistan, and we spent over $2 trillion destroying and rebuilding Iraq. It is an incomprehensible amount of money, and many are quick to point out the obvious. We don't have it. The bank accounts are overdrawn. U.S. debt has hit $27 trillion and counting. We are, in a word, broke, printing money that does not exist and using magical thinking to justify it. And so it makes sense when politicians get on your TV and bang on the table saying we don't have the money to give people more money. Because here's the thing, it's true. But following that logic, we also don't have the money to pay the government salaries of the same politicians complaining about the printing of the money. And none of these hawks have volunteered their government paycheck to help pay down the debt they care so much about. To date, that $4 trillion has already been given out. The American worker has only received 1/5 of that money. And while we know that much of that money has gone to help businesses, for the 100,000 businesses that have permanently closed their doors and the jobs that they've taken with them into bankruptcy, the politicians who haven't missed a single paycheck saying you should be grateful for the $600 you have is quite honestly the same disgusting DC hypocrisy that led to the election of President Trump in the first place. Now, don't get me wrong. Runaway debt is a massive issue, and it is quickly becoming not just an American problem, but an international one. Global debt is projected to exceed $277 trillion by the end of 2020, according to the Institute for International Finance. That is a debt-to-GDP ratio of 365%. Put another way, there is a looming sovereign debt crisis that threatens to kneecap the global economy in ways we cannot even begin to comprehend. As it currently stands, 40% of America's debt is held by foreign nations like China. But these foreign actors are not America's largest debt holder. That distinction belongs to you, the American taxpayer. You buy the bonds. It's your Social Security fund that buys the debt. It has been you, and it has always been you, the American worker, who has shown the greatest faith in America's economic purpose and continuity. So yes, we should care about the debt. We need to take it more seriously, or we will eventually drown in it. But if the only time the debt hawks get serious about pinching pennies is when some of those pennies finally get earmarked for your pocket, it starts to seem that not only have they forgotten who they work for, but they have forgotten why America works.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.